You're just sitting here being a complete dick.
I was straight up with you and I told you I'm in a shit mood, and what have you been doing? Fucking picking at me all night.
Metallica have some big balls. Love them or hate them, you gotta respect that they've always done whatever they wanted to do. Like, release the documentary Some Kind of Monster, which is the making of their album Saint Anger.
If you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say delete that.
Saint Anger, which came out in 2003, was kind of supposed to be this return to form after Load and Reload disappointed a lot of their metal fans, but it arguably ended up being their most controversial album ever for more than just the snare sound. And if you were wondering why it was controversial or what went wrong, well, the documentary shows you. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Eyal Levi, CEO of URM Academy, and I've been playing guitar in my band Doth since 1999. And I saw Some Kind of Monster in the theater, and I remember walking out thinking, wow, what a clusterfuck. And also, I cannot believe that they released this. Holy shit. I haven't seen it since 2004, but I already did a reaction to Metallica's Year and a Half in the Life of Studio documentary, which we all universally love. I thought it would be nice to check this one out and see if it's as chaotic as I remember, and also see how the studio staff dealt with what was being thrown their way. I mean, it's an adventure to say the least. All right, let's get into it. Crazy to think that those were the stats in 2003 and now we're in 2027, almost 25 years later, and I wonder what those numbers are now. I mean, Metallica has been huge for so long.
Play back some of the band's new songs. There'll be no cameras allowed in there. There'll be no video, no bags in there. You can only walk in with paper and a pencil.
We're ready.
Are there any questions?
That snare is one of the reasons for why this album was so controversial. People hated the shit out of it. I didn't love it either. But what I think is really, really interesting, that in lots of styles of heavy music production, like deathcore and several other ones, the pingy snare actually kind of became a desirable thing. And I love good pingy snares. I think Metallica started the trend, but then it kind of corrected itself. I think the Metallica version was the over-exaggerated idea, but then it got refined over the years.
Was there ever a moment you thought about stopping with Metallica, or the whole band was falling apart?
Was it a kind of a power struggle between you and him?
How did you manage to solve this crisis?
Where in God's name are you getting all this aggression from on this new album? Where's it coming from?
Why did it take so long to release an album with the new songs?
After 20 years, is it possible to retain the fire that, you guys once had at the beginning?
Do you think the young generation of metal fans will accept the new album?
85 million records, 22 years. I think it's 11 albums and various official releases. One word.
Oh my God. One word to span our career.
I hate those kinds of questions. Sum up something huge with one word, like, what's your favorite band? Or describe yourself in as few words as possible, or what's your favorite song, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Any of those kinds of questions, they're completely impossible to answer, and they always make people feel uncomfortable.
After 14 years of headbanging, Metallica bassist Jason Newsted has quit the band, citing, quote, private and personal reasons and the physical damage that I've done to myself over the years while playing the music I love. Metallica's management had no comment when asked by MTV News if there's a replacement waiting in the wings, but the band is still scheduled to begin recording a new album this spring.
Fans were very sad when Jason left. I think Jason had and still has a lot of love from the metal community.
I mean, I think everybody understands the concept of trusting instincts, and that's getting to a place where you don't let egos and let stuff get in the way of artistic expression. Do you want to say anything more about that? Because, I mean, I think everybody understands.
Sorry, I want to keep it going, but this psychiatrist is quite the grifter, as will be revealed.
After having seen me work with another band of theirs, when they called and said that Metallica, with Jason announcing that he was exiting the group, needed to take a look at itself and say, well, what's going on here? We've lost touch with our personal relationships and face some of the issues that I think Q Prime felt that they were headed for.
You know, we haven't really worked together for almost 9 months. When we were talking a couple of days ago about whether, you know, if we wanted to do this film or not, I was wondering if having these guys in here would affect that. Because there's an intimacy that you get when it's just a few people in the room, and I'm just wondering if that's going to get lost, if we're going to go back to sort of like battling each other and trying to be like all strong and...
What intimacy? What the fuck are you talking about?
Look how uncomfortable James is. It's making me uncomfortable. Before I go any further, I wanted to mention the brand new URM Academy iOS app, which is out now in the App Store. Log in with your URM account and you can access Nail the Mix, Mix Labs, and Fast Tracks. It's also great for Riff Hard because you can zoom in on the notation and use the built-in metronome, which includes presets for all of the schedule exercises. Just tap on the lesson and it'll set the metronome automatically. And last but not least, you can also download videos to your device to watch offline for those of you that have a long commute, travel, or anything like that. It's in the App Store as URM Academy. There's also a link in the description of this video, or you can scan the QR code on the screen right now.
We're here in the Presidio in San Francisco, and this is going to be the location where Metallica is going to start recording their next album.
We decided that we didn't want to go back into a studio again and do kind of like the same thing we had done before. We had to kind of change things up, and this is one of the things that we talked about, was to go into a space that's not a studio, bring in kind of like a portable studio or a makeshift studio.
That's good.
Funny, this is the idea of a portable studio back then. Think about the contrast to now, where a portable studio is at most a rack, but usually it all just fits in a backpack.
How did you approach this record differently? I mean, did you talk about things? Did you have ideas, keywords, things like that you wanted to put across before you actually started putting the whole thing together?
Well, ego was a big one. Coming in here and not bringing a riff, not bringing a song, not bringing a title, nothing.
Me and James did not meet somewhere else and come in here with material, with songs, with music.
This time, we all got in a room and just started playing, and that's how we wrote songs.
The idea is it should sound like a band getting together in a garage for the first time.
Is that really such a good idea? The sound of a band getting together in a garage for the first time? Look, I'm not one to second guess Bob Rock, one of the greatest producers of all time. His track record speaks for itself. But the idea of it sounding like a band getting together in a garage for the first time, when I hear that, to me, that means it needs to sound like shit. We're trying to make something that sounds like shit. I don't think that's what he meant. I think he probably meant just raw energy, unbridled. But like what I hear is it's going to sound like shit.
It is kind of strange being, you know, like a famous guy. You know, this is part of me that's trying to be unfamous, I guess. But it's also go against the rules attitude.
Trying to be unfamous in the most visible car on the road.
I used to kid myself that art was my great escape away from music. And I think I've become increasingly aware that my interest in art, music, and Metallica, it's not separate from anything. You know, where does he feel that there's enough of that kind of gold thing? How come there isn't another 20 strokes up in that black area up there with what's kind of bare? Where are the starting points and where are the end points? You know what I mean? When's a song done? What the fuck does that mean anyway? Done. When's a record done? You know, where does a record start? Where does it end?
This is actually a really good question. I get asked it a lot, actually, when I'm talking to URM students or talking to someone one-on-one is, how do you know when it's done, or how long should I work on it, or how long does it always take or usually take? And the answer is you don't know. It's never actually done. You could keep working on something forever. If you wanted to work on an album for 50 more years, you could, and you could still find things to work on. Same with writing things. You could just keep on working. That's why deadlines matter a lot. You have to stop and release at some point and just let it go. Let it be what it is and move on to the next thing, or you're never going to evolve. You're never going to get better.
For all intents and purposes, we go into this record completely equal. Everybody contributing just as much on the lyric front as James contributing with drum parts. And
as soon as you started talking about that, I just like...
Yeah. You can flash back now.
Well...
Do you want to hear it with vocals? Go sing it.
You guys had some rules about that before. Frankly, I don't give a fuck. I'm tired of arguing. You couldn't talk about his lyrics, therefore he couldn't talk about your drumming.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And you and him did the solos, so you weren't allowed to comment on the solos. Do you know what I mean? There was rules. Are you telling me that those boundaries are gone now?
Maybe that's a bad thing. I realize that communication is key and it's important for people to be able to express their opinions, but it seems like their old rules worked really well for them. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to throw those rules away. I don't know. What do I know?
In the past, what we did was started with a bunch of ideas existing on tape from everybody. Then me and James would sit down and turn those ideas into songs. And then we would tell the rest of the band what to play and when to play and how to play it. There was never any just other ways of doing it.
It's a whole new thing for me. Writing in front of everybody. Because I've always just gone into my own head and wrote stuff down instead of taking things from outside and putting them down.
So what you're seeing, this movie, it's kind of a disaster, which is why I say that they have big balls for releasing it. And what it is them trying a different mode of working minus a member. Now, I think it's a good thing that they're trying a different mode of working because that's how you grow. But whenever you do that, you're taking a risk. And the risk is that shit sucks. Now, we have all heard bands, there's lots of bands who do this, who start as like one main guy, and then it becomes two main guys, and then suddenly everybody's writing, and somehow they keep getting better. But we also know bands where it started as one or two main guys who then became a democracy and started to suck. So no matter which way you go, it's a risk when you change up how the music is made.
We come now to create our album of life. Throughout our individual and collective journeys, sometimes through pain and conflict, we've discovered the true meaning of family. As we accomplish ultimate togetherness, we become healers of ourselves and the countless who embrace us and our message.
This would make me so fucking uncomfortable. God damn it.
We have learned and we understand. Now we must share. So that's just
mission statement.
A what statement?
Mission statement.
Mission?
Yeah, a mission. It's like, it sets a goal, so you just can just always be reminded of.
Like they're a charity organization or something. like they're rescuing dogs.
What the ultimate goal is.
I'm just laughing because that is so 180 from what a metal band is supposed to be, and also clearly 180 from what they're supposed to be. Just look at James's face. That kind of says everything. It's so weird watching this.
I don't know how you guys feel, but it's really awesome what we're doing. The four of us can just go in a fucking room and roll that kind of shit out of our sleeve.
Pull it out of thin air, man.
It's so exciting because that has just never happened before.
I couldn't get to sleep last night because I was still wired from it all.
Not James. Not feeling it.
How do you feel if you don't seem very psyched about it?
So one thing I've noticed, when you have one person who writes like 85% of the music or 90%, and other people that write 10% or contribute like 3 riffs per album, when you suddenly open the doors to let them write 50% of the music, and therefore the music that they do write means that much more to them. They're that much more emotionally attached to it, which makes it tough because if you're the main writer and have been the main writer, you're used to writing a lot of stuff, which means that you're also used to having a lot of stuff get rejected. You're also used to having to refine your work and change your work. But if this is a new thing to you, you're going to get excited about the first thing you come up with. Not good.
At that time, the managers suggested that we have a psychotherapist come in, a man that meets with pro ball teams, you know, big ego, big dollar guys that can't get along but have to make some kind of entity flow so everybody else and everybody can make the money. I actually said, I think, that this is really fucking lame and weak that we cannot get together. Us. Look, the biggest heavy band of all time, and the things we've been through and decisions we've made about squillions of dollars and squillions of people. And this, we can't get over this.
Kind of has a point there.
I don't know how you feel. I'm in a shit mood, and
I don't even know what to do.
I'm digging it right now.
Even last night, I got to tell you, everybody kind of looked, I hate to tell you, looked pretty burnt.
Very green.
I mean, if we don't start earlier and end earlier, I'm not going to be in a good mood for the rest of this shit, you know?
That was totally weird for me.
You hear that, Bob?
Why don't you try getting a more solid beat?
Regular?
Oh, well, you can call it regular.
You call it regular.
No, I'm trying not to call it regular because I know it bugs you when I call it regular. So a little more solid then.
Sometimes, and I'm guilty of this as well, sometimes musicians have a hard time playing something simple and straightforward because they think it's stupid or cliche, but sometimes that's just what works. It is what it is.
Let me just go put one together.
What's interesting is even though they're getting group therapy and are writing together, they're still talking right past each other. It's not working. It's definitely not helping, and nobody is on the same page, it seems. And you can hear from the output that it's not conducive to good music.
Just real confusing sound.
It's just jacking the vocals all up. I mean, it's clever and everything, but I don't see what it does to it.
I think that's how you hear it, dude. I mean, that's fine. I'm just trying to do something different.
I mean, I'm used to having the drummer do the beat part. You know what I mean? Holding it together.
What I'm hearing is, choose my words carefully here. It's pretty straightforward. You know, the guitar shit, it's a little stock. So I started trying to introduce some kind of edge to it from the drums.
Those things we throw out to each other are complete bullshit, you know? It sounds too stock. It sounds too normal to me. You know what I mean? You're saying this shit so you can get your point across about doing a drum beat. I mean, you know, it doesn't hold any water.
To you.
It doesn't.
I think it's fucking stock. Which part of that is unclear to you? I think it sounds stock to my ears. I mean, you want me to write it down? I think it feels stock,
I
okay?
can't hear you.
So
when you say, you're telling me what to play right now. You're telling me you should play with what Kirk's doing, and I'm telling you it's stock.
Dude, fine.
You know what, guys? Why don't we just go in there and just hammer it out, all right, instead of hammering on each other?
Kirk Hammett, voice of reason.
I mean, we're in shit moods, and we're not going to get anything.
All you want to do is
done
pick
today.
a fucking fight, and
I don't want to pick a fight.
This is so silly. You're just sitting there going, I'm in a really pissy mood, and
I fucking told you straight up that I was.
Right.
And what are you trying to do?
I'm not trying to do fucking shit. You're just sitting here being a complete dick.
You're really helping matters. You're really good at that. I was straight up with you, and I told you I'm in a shit mood, and what have you been doing? Fucking picking at me all night.
Come on, guys. We got better things to do.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Out of there. I bet that was loud. That's the problem with the therapy, where they're trying to create this environment where everybody's ideas are equal to everybody else's ideas. And then when someone doesn't like something, they don't know how to communicate it because everybody's ideas are equal to everybody else's ideas. Not a good way forward.
Metallica frontman James Hetfield has entered a rehabilitation facility to undergo treatment for alcoholism and other undisclosed addictions. In a statement posted on Metallica's official website, the band writes, James has entered an undisclosed facility and he will continue to receive treatment until further notice. Until then, we have postponed all current activities, including recording sessions for our new album.
Comments on that one?
I would say, you know, if you said, if you were our advisor, what would you say? Then I would say, delete that.
Fucking hero. I love Lars's dad.
I mean, I don't know for you guys. For me, it doesn't cut it, you know. But
interesting. I mean, it's interesting, you know, now.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the people involved here, the only other people who've heard any of this music is Cliff Bernstein.
Yeah.
And Cliff Bernstein heard that, he thought that should open the record.
Yeah. I mean, that could well be. But I'm pretty sure that I really don't think so. You know, I really don't think so.
Right.
For me, that doesn't sound right or something, you know. Unless I'm a guy that's kind of shouting in some kind of echo chamber.
Sometimes you need people who will just tell you the truth. That's great.
So I think one of our responsibilities here is to act like a band is still continuing. We're going on. We're doing our exploration. We're exploring ourselves individually. We're exploring our relationships.
Notice how he's saying we, and he's including himself in that statement.
We really need to get together, talk about this, act like the band exists because it does exist. And if we don't do that, then we are the co-producers of the process slipping off the planet.
There's a bit of a shit sandwich, though. What is it? The unraveling of a band, and then there were two.
You know. So a good friend of mine phoned me, and he knew where James was.
Really?
Yeah. He couldn't even imagine James doing anything for 6 months.
I'm prepared for the worst.
I'm pretty confident that, you know, we will come together when the time is right, but knowing when that time will come, or not knowing when that time will come, is very, very uncomfortable.
I hope that at some point he will come back and try and finish the making of this record.
I watched people around the world say what a great guitar player Kirk is and what a piece of shit I am, and that I got kicked out of Metallica and that I wasn't good enough for them and that I was a loser, and
still going to this day.
And I've had to deal with that for almost 20 years, and it's a dreadful experience. It's been hard, Lars. It's been hard to watch everything that you guys do and you touch turn to gold, and everything I do fucking backfire. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that they would consider my backfire complete success, you know, and am I happy being number 2? No, you know. You're just now encountering something I've been going through 13, 14 years. I've never had a chance to be able to tell you without talking to Lars, the guy in Metallica. Never talked to my little Danish friend again. I remember the day you and I talked about digging a hole in fucking dirt and smoking hash through the ground. That to me is the stuff that's like, you know, and we've never had very many moments like that.
Do I feel some guilt? Yes, I do. But at the same time, it's difficult for me to comprehend that the only thing that you feel when you look back on the last 20 years is rooted in the Metallica thing.
Have you ever thought what I've been through?
I think I've had an awareness of the pain I caused you.
That's not what I said.
Okay.
Do you have any idea
of what I put you through?
No. What I went through. I mean, people hate me because of you. You know, I walk down the street and I hear some piece of shit say, Metallica at me, and they do that to taunt me. I mean, when I would hear Metallica on the radio, I would be like, God, I have to turn this off because I just keep thinking, I fucked up. I've been waiting for this day for a long time.
At least he's honest about it, right? Some people would be in denial that they fucked up. At least he's actually saying, I fucked up. I think that's actually really cool. I respect that.
Do I wish it was 1982 all over again and you guys woke me up and say, hey, Dave, you know what? You need to go to AA? Yeah, I'd give anything for that chance.
I don't know. I just, all of a sudden, this became like such a big production. I don't understand. It's like all of a sudden, like, you know, I get like one phone call. It's like everybody and their fucking brother are in town. I thought it'd be Jason, like, playing with this new band in front of, you know, like 20 drunks down at some bar or something. And now, I guess, to my own ignorance or something, I guess that's what I wanted it to be. So now I'm realizing that supposedly it's a little more of a big deal than that.
The biggest thing that I'm seeing from here is the lack of perspective that a lot of these dudes have. Like Dave Mustaine feeling like he's a failure when in reality he's in one of the most legendary and successful metal bands of all time. Lars feeling kind of jealous here or threatened by Jason Newsted's band that's playing a small club where Metallica will sell out stadiums worldwide. It's weird. Perspective's everything because you can really be disconnected from reality if your perspective's off.
Thanks. Awesome.
Nice to meet you. Great to meet you.
Where's Jack? Yeah, Jason? I don't know. Dude, I think I'm back. I think he already fucking bailed.
He went back to
Really?
Nice.
Wow.
Go back to say hey, and he's like fucking gone. Elvis has left the building. There's Zach.
Snubbed.
Hey, Zach. Gee, he's even blowing me off. Jason blows me off. Zach blows me off.
How quick we become yesterday.
Yeah, no kidding.
See, there's a guy in an Echo Brain t-shirt.
Yeah, that's Steve over there. He works at the studio with us. Well, he is.
Really?
Yeah. I remember that guy.
Huh?
I remember that guy. He worked at the studio.
Which guy?
Over there?
The guy in the red shorts?
No, the guy in the black that's walking across right now.
Really?
Kessel. Todd, he works at the studio too, doesn't he?
Who?
Todd over there?
I'm sure they're all here, Bob. I mean, the only two people in the Bay Area not working for him is me and you. Hetfield's gonna freak. I'm in fucking hell.
This whole gig has brought all this on, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
You really want to come clean.
It made me feel like such a loser.
Again, this is what I'm talking about with perspective. I believe him that he feels like a loser, but obviously he's not a loser. We can trick ourselves into thinking all kinds of weird shit that is just not true.
James wrote something in the new issue of our magazine, So What? He wrote a kind of a little handwritten note. That note was probably the most heartfelt thing I'd ever seen come from his mind. Tomorrow is shaping up or is gearing itself up to be, yes, the first sit down with one James Hetfield post rehab.
Yeah, why are we filming this?
I don't know.
Good question. He's gone for over 6 months, and the first thing he really sees is a camera in his face. So obviously, why are we filming this?
I was afraid to pick up a guitar in fear of what would happen. Would I not like it? Would I love it? Would I not be able to write anything cool? Would I write just recovery stuff?
What he was feeling right there, you know, it's not exactly imposter syndrome, but it's some version of imposter syndrome. So just remember, if you are feeling that, and I know that most people watching who try to write music or mix stuff or get into the ring feel like they don't belong or like they're not good enough. Even James feels like that at times. Everyone I know feels like that. So the best thing to do is to say, fuck it, and do the thing anyways.
It's going to be interesting working out on the schedule because we really haven't. It's going to be great.
And kind of the overview is, you know, the less time we have here, the more productive we'll be, in a way, you know? It's like we're more focused on getting the stuff done.
I actually think that that's very, very correct. If you have limited time, it's not necessarily a bad thing. If you have unlimited time and no structure, it'll probably take you a lot longer to get something creative done than if you only have like 2 hours a day and 3 weeks or whatever it might be. Having some sort of a timed structure is very beneficial.
It's hard to introduce structure into this, and I'm trying.
So what do you think, Lars?
Did you hear the song from yesterday that we all heard together?
How was that different?
Because we all heard it together already.
But what he wants to be is
was
part
I in
of
there?
everything. He wants to be part of everything.
We all heard it together.
You came in.
All right, as long as you don't talk about it.
You know what I mean? Is that a way around it, or is that just?
That is definitely a way.
No,
how about if we?
This is not a recipe for working things out. This is blowing my mind. It just seems like Lars and James are dead set on fighting. At some points, it seems like they're disagreeing with each other just for the point of disagreeing, basically being oppositionally defined with each other as a default.
If you are not having any fun, let it be known to you that I'm certainly not having a lot of fun either. But I am not interested in playing music with you if you're not happy in there. I just don't want to become a fucking parody. Okay, so if you're not happy playing music with me,
I know this goes without saying, but I think that them playing this this show with fans, it really highlights how bad the new parts are and how badly the record is going. When you hear one of their classic riffs, it's just so much better. It's an obvious cliche thing to say, oh, the old riffs were better. But forget that idea and try to listen to this as if you've never heard this band before and compare this from Seek and Destroy to anything you heard from this new album. And it's like two completely different bands in terms of quality.
I can take you back when me and him were alone in my room in 1981, listening to new wave British heavy metal singles. As soon as there was somebody else in the room, it just became this, like, it just had a very different energy to it.
Yeah, so if their chemistry is that the two of them are the creative brains in the band, fucking with that chemistry is just, well, you see what it does.
One time during the recording of the Ride the Lightning record where me and him went out and 42 beers later, like, dude, I love you. But it could never materialize until it got to that 42 beer point, and we were alone.
That was good.
And sure I don't have to play it again?
Yeah, I'm sure. It's good practice, though.
For what?
The road.
When?
Couple years.
on, it's been competitive. And in a way, that's what has made Metallica what it is. That's what's driven us further.
What feels good to you? I'm glad to hear that he's open about the competitive nature of this, because I know that a lot of musicians like to say that music isn't a competition, but I beg to differ. I realize that art is art, and in an ideal world, that should just live in its own category. But in the real world, where you're fighting for other people's attention, there's competition. And there's also the idea that people want to be better than other people at the same thing. They want to win. It's just part of the human spirit. And to say that musicians aren't competitive or that music isn't a competition, I just think that it's a little delusional, especially considering the amount of technical skill and effort that it takes to sustain this. If there weren't things like speed and endurance attached to it, maybe it would be a little bit different. But the highly physical nature of this, plus the fact that there's also money involved, that's recipe for competition. And it's okay, because like he said, that's what drove them to get to where they are.
Now we gotta talk about it.
You started talking about the idea of the guitar solo as we have known it, maybe being something that was a little outdated and maybe reintroducing some riff-a-rama things.
But can I say something that I think is bullshit? This whole fucking solo out, dates the whole thing. That's so bullshit.
This is what I've said in many, many videos, that in this era, around 2003, basically 99 to 2003-ish, being really good at your instrument was considered uncool, and there was a lot of social pressure to just not do solos and just kind of suck at guitar. And that's what Kirk's talking about. He's annoyed by it. I know that at that point in time, I was annoyed by it, and so were a bunch of guitar players that I knew, but that was reality.
If you don't play a guitar solo in one of these songs, that dates it to this period. That cements it to a trend that's happening in music right now. I think that's stupid, and I think it's...
He's absolutely right, because when I think back to that era, I think back to shitty solos or no solos or this whole attitude. He's absolutely right that by jumping on that trend, you're dating it to 2002, 2003.
Years worth of integrity and, credibility and all that. The next 5 minutes is going to change all that.
Sharpen that booger-picking finger and be the 50th...
Hey, it's Lars from Metallica here. I'm about to stick 50 grand up your ass.
$1 at a time.
So, strategically...
Why are we doing it then? Just to make them happy?
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. And they won't say, fuck you, you never do anything for us. We're going to fuck you on the next record.
People would do that? Because you didn't give us something, we're gonna fuck you?
Yes.
Yes, James. They would. I'm not saying that they can always get away with it.
That's so funny.
But
yes,
glad
it wouldn't stop them from trying.
I understand the wash your back, wash mine thing. I'll wash your back so you don't stab mine.
Right.
That's more like it.
Okay, why don't we get off the phone then? Well, we should have this conversation some more next week.
Later.
Okay, see ya. Bye-bye.
That's insanity. We're gonna hurt you because we didn't get something.
That's how this shit works. I'm actually kind of surprised that by this point in his career, he wasn't used to that. Honestly, you never really get used to it. It's just this lesson you need to keep learning over and over and over again. But when people talk about playing the game and doing politics and that whole side of it, this is the kind of stuff they're talking about, is you have to make nice with certain people so that they don't stab you in the back. Jet skis are fun, but yeah, kind of dangerous.
Phil has been like an angel for me. He's been sent to help me. And, I've got my own thoughts about all that, and a father figure, the dad that never was, and all of that.
Some culty speak.
But also, we don't want to have our hand held through life. we'd like to be able to stand proud ourselves and move on. There'll be a time for that. And we just have to discuss when that is.
I don't know if that's James being polite, but I interpret that as he wants Phil gone and is looking for the right time to drop the news.
You know, there is purpose behind the way I do it. I think it's very effective. I have to decide whether I'm going to push it or not. It sometimes is a distraction.
I think that's the line right there, is the psychiatrist giving lyrical ideas. I think that's the line. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but that would be the line for me.
So what part of our career are you going to manage today?
I thought I'd do the whole thing. Some you guys can't do anything. I mean, you know, if you guys could run something, it would be easy to step back. Because you can't, you know. It's got to be someone.
Is today the first day you're going to play drums?
They're sick of him, and that is not what you want to hear from a medical professional. That kind of sarcasm is uncalled for. Even if the patient is being rude, that's not the right approach, and I think he's getting himself fired.
I don't want to get into that. Okay. You know, I don't think I'm going to do the drums.
I think it's time.
Maybe I should.
I think it's time.
Although actually I'm kind of impressed.
Well, it's about the only thing you haven't done.
I'm done.
Right. We got to a point where we sat down and told Phil that we wanted to scale Phil back to every other week. And we were getting ready to implement that 4 weeks from when the decision was made. And 2 weeks after the decision was made, we had to sit Phil down and say that we were not ready to do that. Because we got really, I don't know, scared, I guess. There were some things that were going on at the time that really Phil helped with a lot.
Live from the news leader in Northern California, News Center 4, Night Beat.
The Metallica versus Napster battlefield moved to San Mateo today. Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich delivered a list of screen names of people who have downloaded the band's music online.
Lars was right. Honestly, I always thought he was right. It's one of those things that when this was happening, I had to keep my mouth shut because people around me would literally get violent about this. They thought he was so evil. But as time has gone, I think that Lars has been proven right. What really should have happened is that the major labels tried to work with Napster back then and figure something out, but they didn't. And it was a major fuck up that took, 10 years or more to recover from. Lars was right.
Metallica drummer Lars Ulrich testified before a Senate committee earlier this month that Napster has, quote, hijacked our music without asking.
The band said that over 350,000 people are downloading its music for free.
A group of former Metallica fans staged a protest at the courthouse.
I don't want anything to do with Metallica anymore. I'm going to be crashing their CDs. I took all my CDs and I'm going to be destroying them.
Like I said, people were pissed about this. And they would want to fight you over it. They were so heated about it, which was really strange because at that time there was no streaming. At least with streaming, there's royalty streams involved. We can all argue about how fair the royalty system is or if there should be better deals towards artists, but at least there is a royalty stream. Whereas with Napster, it was just 100% stolen. And fans had such a backlash because they were saying that, well, Metallica are rich enough, so they don't need this. They don't need more money. But I don't think that that's the reason that Lars was doing this. I actually honestly do believe that the reason he was doing this was because of the damage this was going to do to the entire industry.
Good afternoon. My name is, Lars Ulrich from Metallica. I worked for years to get where I am today. Me and my buddy, James Hetfield here, have shed blood, sweat, and motherfucking beer to get where we are today. Beer. Good. Who do you think you are? Just, because you, made us rich, you think you can get free stuff? Songs that we spent upwards of, 24 to 48 hours writing and recording. Our team of lawyers and researchers have your names, and you Napster users, we'll see you in jail getting gang.
Yeah, that's a good example of how people were feeling about Metallica for taking a stand. And then Of course, they would complain about how hard it was to sell records or how nobody bought records anymore and how there are no budgets anymore in the music industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What do you think he was talking about? This is what he was talking about. You could say he predicted it.
Squeeze out in my hands. Ooh, choke within my hands. I'm madly in anger with you. I'm madly in anger with you. I'm madly in anger with you. Feel the hurt I'm in. Times like this. God, what's it coming to? Destructive that will pin with all. Line across your spine, so that gets broken too.
These songs are brutal.
You know, the first 4 songs you played me all pretty much knocked me out, okay? But if you've got it going, you want it to hammer all the way through. You want people to be able to really listen and say, Jesus Christ, there's no letting up from these guys. There's no fucking let up. Fuck balance. You know, there definitely is some Presidio stuff that I felt maybe, you gotta analyze it, maybe you're watering it down in some way. That's all.
Kind of similar to what Lars' dad said. In other words, is sometimes with celebrities and rock stars, they get into delusional thinking because nobody around them tells them the truth. What's interesting with Metallica is that there are people around them telling them the truth. The manager is telling them that basically only 4 songs out of however many there were salvageable or usable. The dad is telling him to fucking delete it. That's a good thing.
I never looked at it as an investment, but I always looked at it as versus some of the other guys who may be like taking a big pile of money and parking it in the bank. I would always like take a big pile of money and park it on my wall. Oh, I can just feel some of the adulation that other people have thrown at these paintings, and that makes me proud. I've never been this close to it. These are great paintings, whether they sell for $1 or for $100 million. The only thing that matters is what pleasure and what feeling you get out of that moment you have with that painting. And it's never been about dollars and cents. It's always been about something greater than that. But fuck, they do look awesome. I mean, fuck.
Been a good time?
And it will be a good time. I feel better about this than I thought I would, actually. It's weird. I don't know why.
Next time you're thinking about hoarding some trash, just remember that people like him don't even hoard millions of dollars worth of paintings. You can get rid of anything.
Let's talk about the zone for a minute. Okay, there is a way to help a person get in a zone. You could consider seriously doing some meditative or apply the meditative principles to music. All right, I don't want this to sound too way out, but if you do that, the 4 of you are out there, and you do it anyway, unconsciously. You do a musical meditation by starting to jam with each other.
I just think, no matter how you look at it, I've been making records a very long time, and it really comes down to how much work you put in and how much, it's just tough.
These guys are looking at the psychiatrist like he's insane.
It's just tough work.
And I like to stretch the frontiers of what people accept, okay? And I understand about that, and I don't want, for my mind, to settle for it.
All right, I think now he's in the process of getting himself fired.
I'm not going to be playing today then, huh? I'm going to go out and make phone calls.
Turning the studio into a live, laugh, love spectacle is not the best idea.
We've had a fabulous few weeks with a lot of great productivity, a lot of really good stuff going on. The more we feel good about ourselves and each other, and the higher we ascend, the more challenging it will be to our psyches.
I understand it, I embrace it and all that stuff, but sometimes it just bugs me. That thing was kind of bugging me yesterday. All of them around the studio, it was just kind of like, that way of thinking just doesn't work for me all the time. And I was a little pissed off at it because right now in my life it's not really working for me.
No, I'm glad to know it's how you feel.
wholehearted.
And if you feel that way and wish to share that more directly, I'd appreciate that too. You know?
Rather than tearing the signs down?
Yeah.
We pay him $40,000 a month to be pretty much available at our...
Just take that in. $40,000 a month, and he's posting signs that say "Zone It." I know there's more to it than that, but that is insane.
So when this record's done, do we want to collectively end the $40,000 a month full-on thing?
I'm afraid he's under the impression that he's like in the band, you know?
Yeah.
It's definitely gone way too far if they feel like he thinks he's in the band. There's no coming back from that. It's like there's an imposter in the room. Like, it's over.
May 3rd, Saturday, May 3rd. So that means you'd have to hire someone by the 2nd.
I think it can happen.
You'd be required to be in Los Angeles for all of 2 days.
Because we didn't get a new bass player, I think a lot of people thought maybe that we were having trouble finding one. And we never started looking for a new bass player until 2 months ago.
We worked on ourselves, identified what part can we work on, so when someone else steps in, it's clean. They're not stepping in our shit, you know? All right, thinking about bass players finally. So we're gonna need a 4th member. You know, we know you're a great bass player. It's the vibe, you know, we need to make sure.
Jason kind of triggered this whole thing a couple of years ago, and I can't believe it's been 2 years, you know? And then we've gone through some
We realized that we kind of wanted somebody who was like our age, somebody who had been around the block a couple times.
Right. We've grown a lot, man. 3 guys in this band.
And last time, when we did this 14, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, I guess it was, so we literally sat down and started auditioning bass players, you know, the day after the funeral for Cliff. So now it's 16 years later, different circumstances.
When Jason left, he took his basses with him. You want 4 or 5?
What 5 strings do you have?
This one's 5-string though.
Keep searching, keep on searching. This search goes on, this search goes on.
The band, these guys collectively probably own like 500 to 600 guitars, so they're not all here.
Wow. For those of you who don't know, at this point in time, I believe that Robert Trujillo was playing for Ozzy Osbourne. I'm like 99% sure of that.
I think that we should just spend the next 2.5 hours with this guy. Don't you?
I had a vision of us jamming with him the last hour.
I guess I just feel that's just kind of like weird to keep like just doing our own thing. It just feels not welcoming.
This morning I heard him say he was pretty comfortable.
We can say, you know, it's not about what he says. It's about what I feel.
All right.
Are we cool, James?
Yeah. I guess the only other thing I'd like to say is, you know, when we leave this up to just how we're feeling, a lot of it depends on how you're feeling. You know, when you say those things.
Not that I want to break up what you guys are discussing if you want to go deeper, you know. But I think what might be really good is to treat this with respect, go out and do this.
Seems like they're procrastinating actually getting going and playing something with him just because there's so much baggage involved with them and bass players.
Yeah.
Alan, good stuff?
I could try battery.
Battery? You can play that fast with your fingers?
Yeah.
It's a fucking pretty mighty bass sound you got going there. Yeah, it's fucking.
I don't know. It's the Mesa and the high watt.
Is there anything else you know as well as that?
bop, and into the solo right here. I'll just follow.
He was the first guy of any of them that didn't look like he was struggling with it.
That's what I told Bob.
Yeah, it sounded like there were some good and not so good bass players in there, but I don't know if this is how it was edited or something, but I'm pretty sure that it seems like Rob was better than everybody and felt totally at home with their music. It just came super prepared and brought the confidence.
But do you know what I mean about like it, you know, some of the other guys, it was sort of 10% over their capabilities or something like that, and you don't feel that with this guy at all. It's like the last 3 songs, like Sanitarium, Nothing Else Matters, and what was those?
Sad.
They were flawless.
I looked over at him during Whiplash, and he was just right in the pocket and in there. And then afterwards, when he played it alone with his finger, it hadn't been played that way since Cliff. It's just like, huh? Yeah,
his fingers are pick. Yeah.
It's 3 picks.
The sack ball now?
Well, the second time he came back, I mean, that was for me when I noticed that you make us play better, man. You make the band sound so much better, so solid.
How do you feel about that, man?
Oh, I feel awesome, man.
The chosen
one
one
right now.
You looked coolest.
We want you to be a real member of this band, not just a hired hand.
Right, absolutely.
And we'd like to offer you, basically, to show you how serious we are about this, offer you $1 million to join our band right now.
Can you imagine?
And as a kind of a good faith thing about how serious we are.
It's an advance. It's an advance on some percentage you're going to be making with the band. Here's money up front to get you kicked in and inspired, and this is a reality. This is my future. This is what life can hold for me with my new family.
I can't really talk right now.
Invisible kid, never see what he did. Got stuck where he hid, falling through the grid. Invisible kid, got a place of his own, where he'll never be known. In a word, he's grown. Invisible kid, never see what he did. Got stuck where he hid, falling through the grid. Invisible kid, got a place of his own, where he'll never be known. In a word, he's grown.
I don't know if it's the right time to say this, but I know I've been thinking about our talk about, you know, you and us and our future and all of that stuff, and
I want to make sure that the bass player is intact. I want to be sure that the tour is on, and I also, as I said, have performance coach visions for each of you and for the band. And to me, the work isn't over. I'd like us to honor what we had, and if you want to be away from, you know, on your own or something for the couple months that send back in June, then let's just keep it.
I don't know. I guess I have a problem sometimes, Phil, with it. Let's see how it works out. Let's see how it happens, and then no, let's honor what happened, you know, 6 months ago. You know, that's kind of strange to me, because I think that you use those things when they're convenient at times. You know, personal stuff or business things.
Yeah, he wants to keep the $40,000 a month gravy train going.
If the client, either James or us, says, you know, then I really think that needs to be respected without, you know, just, you know, the old turn the knife thing in there. You know, it just, you know, if the client says, you know, time out for a while, time out.
That is great, although with our process to honor what we have on the table.
It should be put on the table, but left on the table, and should be able to walk away without what you're saying right now, which is now there are trust issues and stuff.
Based on what James and Lars are saying, I think there might have been a world in which they resumed working with him down the road, but it all hinged on how he reacted to this. And it seems like he's talking himself out of a future job. I've seen this plenty of times where bands will stop working with somebody like a producer or a manager or whatever, and the person is very, very cool about the split, no hard feelings, and they end up working with that person again. And I've seen the opposite, where the person makes it difficult and then they never work with that person again. Obviously, if he was cool about it, there's no guarantee that they would work together again, but higher chance for sure.
I think it's a conflict of interest. Did you tell him that he needs you around more if he wants to take a break?
I'm not saying that. I
see that as a conflict of interest.
I am saying you guys have made a decision. It's okay for me to say I'm not happy with that decision. The premise is you guys don't need me, and I'm good with that.
Anyway, let's jam.
Great. I'll see you guys. I'm taking out. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Thanks, man.
Who's in charge of my head today?
That might be the most united those guys have been in this entire documentary. Besides hiring Robert, it seems like stepping up to Phil is the most united they've been.
You've been in the band for 5 minutes and already you're an icon?
It's such an honor, and I'm stoked. So.
Your voting interest will equal your percentage interest in the new Metallica account, while each of our voting interests will be 1/3 of the difference between 100% and your percentage. Just as about as lawyer as you get, but it's really
sort of laying out.
Yeah, it lays out the deal. Okay, so for instance, in the first period, you have 5%. Okay, so when we do a vote, you get 32 votes, you get 32 votes, you get 32 votes, you get 5 votes in any vote. Okay.
But this doesn't mean anything.
I think it's crap. I mean,
I think in the spirit of what we're trying to do, we got to do 25, and then Q Prime's the tiebreaker.
That works. That's fine. Cool.
That says something right there, that they were willing to give him 25% up front from the get-go. And I think that that's very different than how it seems like they treated Jason. It seems like they hazed the shit out of Jason just because he wasn't Cliff. But it really does seem like they learned their lesson and were trying to not repeat that with Robert.
more than any other record, I don't know if you guys feel that, but for me, this is like product of what we're just doing, hanging out. You know what I mean?
It's like a diary.
Yeah, diary. It's like, here's our memories on CD, you know.
Like, we've proven that you can make aggressive music without negative energy.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think anybody ever thought that
I don't know about that.
Would be possible. Do you know what I mean? You can make something that's aggressive and fucked up, okay, with positive energy between the people creating it.
Yeah. I don't know, I can feel myself kind of protecting myself with some depression or something, wanting to just kind of isolate. And I don't want to do that. I want to feel the sadness of, I mean, I didn't feel depressed, I felt sad. That's when I knew it was something different than just me, my old stuff, you know. I mean, there was some of that, but sadness and depression, I guess I don't really know the difference. And Phil, all the stuff that you've brought here to, like, you've set out all the tools, you know, and you allowed us to build what we built, you know.
I really appreciate your bringing this forward. And there is a difference between sadness and depression, clearly.
Yes, one is an illness and the other one's an emotion. Wow, that was kind of a brutal watch. More brutal than I remember it being. But still, my feelings haven't changed. I have nothing but respect for them for having the balls to put out something that honest, because they had to know that it didn't make them look good. I mean, I wouldn't put something out like that, but they're Metallica. There's only one. Anyways, thank you very much for watching. What did you think of this? Have you seen it before? How do you feel about it? Let me know in the comments. As always, like, share, subscribe. See you next time.